OpenClaw is the most hyped AI agent of today. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's downloading it. It was just announced that Peter Steinberg, the founder of OpenClaw, has decided to join OpenAI to bring agents to everybody. OpenClaw is becoming a foundation, open, independent, and it's just getting started. Sam Altman called this man a genius. Let me see if I can find his post. Peter Steinberg is joining OpenAI to drive the next generation of personal agents. He's a genius with a lot of amazing ideas in the future of very smart agents interacting with each other to do very useful things for people. We expect this will quickly become core to our product offerings. OpenClaw will live in a foundation as an open source project that OpenAI will continue to support. The future is going to be extremely multi-agent, and it's important for us to support open source as part of that. Today, I'm going to show you how to install OpenClaw, not locally, but in a sandbox on Vercel. One of the big downsides of using OpenClaw is it exposes ports and people are getting their local machines hacked. People are buying hundreds of dollars of Mac Mini and other computational hardware. And I'm telling you, you don't need to do that. You can spin up a sandbox, an isolated, untrusted virtual environment where you can run OpenClaw. So that way you can get all the benefits of having this OpenClaw machine that's always running an AI agent that actually does stuff without risking your wallets, your passwords, your credit cards, anything that you have on your local machine. Without further ado, let's get started. The article I'm working through is an official guide from Vercel. So if you want to follow along yourself, you can either follow this video or just run in a search, whether on Google or any of your LLMs, how can I run OpenClaw in a Vercel sandbox? And you should find this article. The first step we need to do is install Vercel Sandbox. I've already got this, but just to be verbose, I'm going to show you this step as well. We install the sandbox locally, and then we run the login command. Again, I've already run this, but I'm going to run it again. Should say that I'm already authenticated, but I'm going to do it one more time. Looking good. We have authenticated. We're now signed in. Let's see what the next step is. Now we want to create a sandbox. So when I copy this command, it does not necessarily work right for me. I send this, and actually now that I've installed it, it does work. So we now have a sandbox all set up. And before I let this go, I'm going to open up this URL because we're going to need it in a little bit. Right now it doesn't show anything, but in a bit, this is going to be where we go to run our Claude bot or our OpenClaw. From here, we can skip this. We don't need to worry about exporting that. Now we want to install OpenClaw inside of our sandbox. So you can see here, I now have this little Vercel triangle, and then we're showing inside of my terminal Vercel sandbox. I'll paste the install command for OpenClaw in here. And now we're installing OpenClaw inside of our sandbox. I'm not installing this locally. This is my own private sandboxed computer, runs in an isolated environment, so I can install this, I can set it up, again, without risking any vulnerabilities on my local machine. The biggest security concern to be aware of is we are going to give it access. We're going to give it a couple API keys. In this example, we'll be using Vercel AI Gateway, as well as Telegram and potentially GitHub, depending on how far we get. I'm going to try to keep this under a half an hour. So any API keys I'm giving, those are at risk, but luckily those are just API keys that I will spin up for this sandbox. And so if for some reason we decide to stop using it, or we find out that there's a vulnerability, we can delete those keys without impacting the other parts of my application or the other places where I might be using other keys. So it installs it. Once it installs OpenClaw, we then verify that the installation was correct by running OpenClaw --version. We can run that now, and we can see we are on the version that was published on February 15th of this year. Now we want to run through the onboarding. So we run OpenClaw onboard. This is going to open up the onboarding wizard. We verify first the security concern. This is risky. We do want to continue. We want to stay in quick start mode. We want to use Vercel AI Gateway, but you can pick any model that you want. This is the first API key we need to give. I don't recommend sharing this with others, but as I'm doing this for educational purposes, I will be sharing my API key, which I'll then delete after this video. So you go to Vercel, you go into your account, and then you go to AI Gateway. There's an API keys tab, and from there, you'll see all of your API keys. Click the create new key button, and this one, you can name the key whatever you want. I'm going to call it delete to remind myself I need to delete it, and OpenClaw to label what the project is. Now that I've created that key, I have my Vercel AI gateway key. I can paste that in here, hit enter, and we can continue our onboarding. I'm going to keep the model as the default, and then we're going to skip all of the channels. We won't configure any skills. We'll skip the hooks. And now we have finished with the install. It's going to take a couple seconds to think through the system ND and through it's doing its installation and setup of overall the files. And once it does, we should be good to go. Let's go back to the instructions. So we've already done all this: security acknowledgement, onboarding mode, model and auth provider, auth method, API key, model, channel, skills, hooks, gateway. Now when it finishes, it's going to give us a token. That token we're going to want to throw in to the URL. But before we do, I'm going to copy this next command to make sure that it's always up and running. Looks like it's finished. I'll paste in this command. It says it's now running. Let's verify it's running by copying this next command. This is going to show us the logs where we see listening on a WebSocket, PID 199. It's looking good. We're now running OpenClaw again, not on our local machine, but on a Sandbox. So if you have an old computer and OpenClaw can't necessarily run there, this Sandbox is perfect for you because this runs on the cloud and not on your local machine. From here, we should now be able to go over to the port. I'll find that port here. I need this token info. And so all that I need to do is copy this token, go back over to the URL where I was at, and let's see if I can now see. It looks like there was an error. That's unfortunate. Gonna try it one more time over here, and if this doesn't work, I might start from scratch or walk backwards a little bit to figure out what's going on. Might be the double slash that I have here. That might be throwing an error into things. Looks like that was the error, was I had a double slash here. And you can see it says we're not connected to the session. This is another security measure to make sure even if someone sees this URL that I have and they try to copy to access my OpenClaw, we have to authorize my specific device to allow it. And it'll tell us how inside of here. We list the devices after we've gone to that URL. Once we list the devices, we see my request here. We want to approve this request by saying OpenClaw device approve. And now we'll take that request, put the request in here. And now we have approved our request. We come back over to the panel. And now I'm connected. And so now I can say, hey, and now we have OpenClaw again running in a Sandbox. This URL is not our local host. This is a Sandbox from Vercel. And so now we can go through the setup. I am Sweetman. You are Feliz Viernes. Feliz Viernes is the name I give to all of my bots. You're productive. I'm in Colombia time zone. Emoji, octopus. Can you talk to me on Telegram? Because I mean, it's nice to be able to do it inside of my web browser, but we wanna. One of the nice things about OpenClaw is we can connect any sort of platform we want. So from here, let's go over to Telegram and see if we can chat with it on Telegram. So from here, I'm gonna say new bot. I'm gonna call it Feliz Viernes. We're gonna call it Feliz Viernes Claw OpenClaw bot. And from here, I now have a key. Let's take this key and give it back to my OpenClaw. And now we should be able to start talking to it on Telegram. One of the nice parts about OpenClaw is it's able to modify its own file system. So when we give it these environment variables, it's able to save that inside of the Sandbox to be able to directly connect with Telegram without us needing to go into the code. And the key is bot token. Oh, Okay, so it looks like it's all good. Now we should be able to open up Telegram and find our bot, and then we'll start the connection process. Let's go back over here. Let me copy the bot name, and let's write a new message, new secret channel, I think, to this person. This is my bot. Don't know why I'm not seeing my bot chat. Let's search, and let's try sending this guy a message. Start. And now it's saying we do need to connect. And so I'll copy this connection command. Where did Telegram? I restarted Telegram. Let's see if our chat's still there. All right. Now again, let's go back to our chat with our OpenClaw. It gave us the command we need to run. We'll put that into our sandbox, approve the pairing, and now I'll say done. It's already typing. Gateway backup, Telegram running. Now send me a message. I'll be waiting on the other side. I'm here. What can you do for me? Why is OpenClaw so hyped? And now we have OpenClaw running. I believe this has been less than 30 minutes. You can see that it streams inside of Telegram. It can do whatever I want. It can send messages. It can open up pull requests. It can be my music manager. Can you be my music manager and help me release my next song on Spotify? So if you're an artist or you're running a record label and you want a music manager, OpenClaw is a great solution that's always running. It's going to be able to help me get my music out. It can help me with distributors. It can help me write my song metadata. It's my personal LLM talking to me whatever I want. If I want to talk to it on Telegram, it'll set up Telegram. If I want it to talk to me on WhatsApp, it'll talk to me on WhatsApp. This gives me the ability to talk to it wherever I am. And you can see that this syncs across all devices. So when I sent the message on Telegram, it shows up over here as well. But now I can kind of get out of this web interface and I can send it here on Telegram. I've got Telegram on my phone, so I can talk to it on the go. And this is it. This is OpenClaw running inside of a Vercel sandbox. You've seen a couple of the hiccups that I hit from typing in a URL incorrectly, but overall, we just followed the instruction. This will help us set up WhatsApp. I haven't done that yet. I haven't done WhatsApp yet, but we already have we've got OpenClaw running on a sandbox. The sandbox only lives for 30 minutes. And so where I'm thinking of this next is we're building Recoup, which is it's an AI assistant that helps artists build their own record labels. And so we're building sandboxes right now, so that way record labels can have file systems that are accessible and shared amongst the members of their organization. And it has right now OpenCode in it, which is the AI agent that's able to manage and do things inside of that file system in the sandbox. We're considering, this is my attempt to do research into OpenClaw to consider if we want to give record labels OpenClaw instead of OpenCode. OpenClaw, we've seen, has these integrations and it's much more conversational and much more flexible for the setup. The biggest questions that I have is sandboxes naturally have a lifespan. Unlike running this on a Mac Mini or on your local computer. Actually, I could talk through this with OpenClaw. Can you help me think through our sandbox architecture for Recoup? We are currently using OpenCode, and I'm considering installing OpenClaw into our sandboxes. My main concern is session ending and creating new sessions, aka maintaining your life between sessions. I think we can use Vercel Sandbox snapshots to restore existing sessions. Do you have any recommendations on how to best build this architecture I'm imagining? And then one of I'm really I've known about OpenClaw for just about a month, but yesterday was the first day I installed it because I had been afraid to download it on my local machine, but putting it in a sandbox feels pretty easy for me. And so putting it in a sandbox, I'm now seeing the power of OpenClaw, and I'm really liking how nice it is right out of the box. It's very powerful. It's been very customized to me, and it just works. Unlike me needing to build something from scratch, I've been able to get this up and running inside of a gateway, inside of Vercel Sandbox, and then it's just great. It feels like a great direction, and so if I can work through this, which I'll probably use OpenClaw to help me build it myself, OpenClaw can write all the code for me, and it can open up pull requests for me. And so I'm thinking this will help me to iterate faster on my pull requests personally. I want to figure out how to get my own version of OpenClaw running in a sandbox, so that way I can, every time I'm trying to work on something, just open up a new sandbox, run OpenClaw in there, and have it do all of my pull requests for me. And then instead of, right now I use Claude Code, which runs on my local machine, and potentially the same way exposes vulnerabilities, runs malicious commands inside of my local machine. If I just run OpenClaw in a sandbox and have that do all my coding for me, it keeps my local machine free, so that way I can extend the lifespan of my own hardware, as well as giving me more modalities to be able to code. Right now, because I use Claude Code, I have to be on my computer. But if I'm on my phone and I can just talk to it on Telegram, I can keep coding, reviewing, merging pull requests, iterating on our business without needing to be here at my computer, which allows us to do faster iterations, which allows us to stay more competitive and lean. All that to say, I'm very excited about OpenClaw. You've seen how fast and easy it is for us to get this all set up, and it took us less than 15 minutes. I've just now been babbling about how I've been thinking about it in this research process. If you have any questions about how to use OpenClaw with Vercel, I recommend you check out the article that I shared at the start, Running OpenClaw in Vercel Sandbox. And I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm always going live and showing how we are building and the new technologies that we're building on to build Recoup, a tool that allows artists to build their own record labels. And with that, I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in.